Hey everyone, we saw Oppenheimer. This is Philip Price. He is a local film enthusiast, critic extraordinaire.
Had a YouTube channel. It's called Initial Reaction. Still out there, a lot of fun. Had different guests, kind of like we're doing right now, each week to review new releases, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, it's out there on the internet. Let's go check it out.
Check out Philip Price. But right now, we're going to talk about Oppenheimer. So this is the first Barbieheimer film.
Right.
Neither of us have seen Barbie yet.
No, not yet.
Definitely
Anxiously awaiting.
I am also anxiously awaiting.
I'm very excited.
I need to feel better about life after this movie.
I'm actually, because I was considering doing the double feature, and I don't know that I could have like changed mindsets after now having seen Oppenheimer.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Well, if you have been living under a rock, Oppenheimer is Chris Nolan's new film. Christopher Nolan he's made Inception, Dunkirk, Interstellar, the Batman movies with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Very talented filmmaker. All of those are great. And it stars everyone in Hollywood.
Every single white guy you can think of
is Cillian Murphy,
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Benny Safdie.
Benny Safdie, Josh Hartnett.
Josh Peck. It's about Robert J. Oppenheimer, who created the atomic
Father
bomb.
of the atomic bomb, yeah.
And what did you think of Oppenheimer?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like you said, I'm kind of speechless coming out of it. It's a very sobering experience. It is 3 hours long, we should mention. Man, I was like bowled over by it in a good way. Like, I stood up after it was over, and my legs were kind of asleep, but at the same time, I was just like I want to watch it again almost immediately, which is saying something because it is so long.
3 hours, and
but
it's
at the
a
same
dry
time,
subject.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, man, I don't know if I can put myself through that again right now, but I do want to like immerse myself in it again, because there's so much to it. So I guess we can talk about the last hour and how you felt about that, because it was kind of like, oh, it's interesting. Spoiler, I guess, but the bomb goes off at the 2 hour mark.
And, which I was expecting it to be like almost like the climax of the movie. Which it sort of is, but there's another hour afterwards. It goes from this, like, I said thriller earlier, where the first 2 hours is them racing against the clock to beat the Nazis to build the bomb.
Yeah.
And then they do, then it turns into like a political thriller.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I didn't mind it.
I didn't either.
I didn't mind it at all. Like, I loved that it wasn't like, oh, we made the bomb and it blew up correctly how we thought it would. The end. Like, I love that it was like, no, what are the actual after effects on these people, and specifically him. Yeah.
Like, as soon as that bomb goes off, it turns into a sobering, like, oh, it worked.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, now this is the world.
Honestly, like, the scene where he goes to speak to everybody that is at this base camp is maybe in contention for scene of the year for me. Like,
completely agree
the
with
sound design in that scene is just like,
and he's picturing what the bomb does to these people.
It was like, this is what Nolan wanted to evoke from this material, like this little section here.
That in the very last line.
Yeah.
Which,
oh my God.
This movie, I kept hearing like reactions of like people in the theater crying and like leaving the theater depressed.
Yeah.
Because it's as you just said, it's what Chris Nolan was going for in like one line.
Yeah.
And then it just ends. I'm like, oh my God. Like, that was chef's kiss. Like, I respect you, sir.
I was kind of surprised how much it leaned into like the political aspects of it, and not as much into like, I expected there to be more about the scientific explanations of what went into creating the actual bomb, just because it is Nolan and like Interstellar, and how relevant the science was in that. But I appreciate, like, I was totally into these grand, like, mounted images of these guys just talking in really enclosed rooms too. Like the whole interviews with him and in that tight quarters with Jason Clarke and everybody.
Like this movie is Cillian Murphy, the close-up. Like,
I mean, yeah.
Cillian Murphy has been in like 6 Christopher Nolan movies now.
Yeah.
Never high up. This is his first lead role. I think his biggest role ever. He's amazing in this. And Florence Pugh has like 5 scenes in this.
Yeah.
Oscar nom. Like, guaranteed.
I mean, I really do think Cillian Murphy will get one for this. Like, right? Like, he has to, even though it's coming out in the summer and everything.
There's no way he's not. I was a history nerd in high school. I still am. My dad and I text Jeopardy questions to each other. And this movie is one of the best ones I can think of in recent memory. It's like this and like I know JFK is not really a biopic, but it's very similar in its structure.
I was gonna say JFK
specifically.
Yeah, JFK is a good, and not to spoil anything, he kind of like almost says that explicitly.
Yeah,
like this is where I got this inspiration from, like a little bit.
Yeah,
I kind of took it that way, but
and then like it's funny that Marvel has ruined us to where you hear a name and it's like, oh, they mentioned him. It's like they mentioned JFK once in like a weird like Marvel way. It's like JFK, John F. Kennedy, and like I know him.
Well, even because Downey Jr. is like, oh, what was his name?
Yeah, and like they build it up like it's like,
and he pulled out the car. Yeah, it kind of was.
I realized we didn't talk about the score.
Oh man,
the score is during the test, this super climactic scene. We noticed there's a Geiger counter in the score. Like it's set to a beat of a Geiger counter, which is like what they test the radiation.
Mm-hmm. Do you know who did the score?
Ludwig Göransson.
Oh yes,
the Black Panther guy.
Yeah.
Like there's a Geiger counter in the score, and the score is so good, and it almost never stops.
Scores are always pretty instrumental in in Nolan movies, anyway. But like there is a lot of almost montage like movie making here.
A lot of montages.
And relies so heavily on the score. I'm glad you brought that up.
How many of those? I don't know. They're not fedoras, but whatever Oppenheimer wears.
Yeah, we'll call them Oppenheimer hats.
Right? Oppenheimer hats out of 10.
You know, I'm gonna go full 10 Oppenheimer hats out of 10. I'm gonna go full 10. Like,
oh my god,
it's so well done, and like maybe his best like written movie.
Oh, by far. Like dialogue wise, like structure wise, you can
like I enjoyed Tenet, but I felt like he was kind of spinning his wheels a little bit, and this one feels like more of a career defining like work. Like this feels like, oh, you poured everything into this and like and controlled every aspect of it to the point like this is doing exactly what you intended it to do.
So you gave it a 10 out of 10.
I got to.
I'm going to give it an 11. I can't think of a single thing that I'd be like, well, it could do without that, or like cut that out. Like you would be taking away from so much. Like everything pays off. Everything's like it's a long build up. Like you gotta be ready for that. But it all pays off. It's insanely well made. I want to recommend it to everyone. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like people will complain about the third hour, like that it goes on. Like if there's gonna be complaints, I feel like it's gonna be like, okay, the bomb went off. Why are we going on? But come on, like give it a chance. It's important. It's critical. Like,
and Robert Downey Jr. uses the last hour to like, hey, can I have an Oscar, please?
Yeah. I loved how he was still the smartest guy in the room.
Yes, hey, he's Robert Downey Jr.
You know,
it's his thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about Oppenheimer.
Go see it.
Go see it, please.
Absolutely.
And thanks for coming.
No, thank you guys. Thank you for having me. I super appreciate this.